What's up, guys? We got an interesting one here today. Let's get into it.
If I end up in the happiest, most loving, healthiest relationship, married with kids, whatever it is, I can promise you I will still hate most men. And that is something that I genuinely don't think will ever change, because there are so many men that treat women so badly. If I truly find one that is just like the outlier that genuinely treats me good and treats other women well, you're like, he's just one of the good ones. That's not going to change my outlook on the majority of men and the way that they go about their lives in society. I truly don't care that I feel this way about them, because I didn't create these feelings, they did. And before anyone's like, oh, who hurt you, people hurt my friends, people hurt my family, like people hurt my clients. I have been hurt, like I have had my fair share of hurt from men, but I've also had so many stories and experiences from other women where it's very hard to put men in a good light. It's very hard to trust men.
You're a victim.
So, if you were married with kids, you'd still openly hate most men. It's a bold strategy, right? Let's see how this plays out. But here's the deal. Blaming an entire gender for your trauma is lazy. You're projecting personal issues in society's feminist victim narrative onto men. Not every guy is a villain just because someone hurt you or your friends. It's total bullshit. And calling good men outliers is just gaslighting. Statistically, women initiate 70% of divorces, and most child abuse cases are by mothers, yet men are the problem. There's no accountability here. If hate is your default setting, don't expect love to flourish. And maybe look inward before pointing your damn finger at everybody else.
So people are asking me questions like this, like, why didn't I buy my daughter gifts with the money that I get from child support for her? And the answer is simply this: that child support money is not for my kids, it's for myself. That money is simply made for me to use on myself and make sure that I have everything that I need. If I'm not happy, if I don't have what I need, I cannot be the best version of myself. So I splurge with the child support money. Plus, I had new toys laying around because my daughter, I'll buy her things and then she doesn't play with it, or like she forgets about them, and then like they're still brand new. So I don't see nothing wrong with me just wrapping them and giving to her again. I have never spent any child support money on any of my 7 kids, and I never will. I get child support for my grandchildren, and I don't waste it on them either. That money is for me only. So no, the child support did not go towards any of my daughter's gifts. Child support is not meant to be spent on the child. It's meant to be spent on the person who provides for them, who takes care of them, and that's me.
You a damaged goods lady.
We've seen this nut job before saying some shit about her husband, ex-husband. Still don't know if this is real or she's just making bullshit comments to get reactions and views out of it. I have no idea, but I'm going to treat it as if this is a real thing. He's talking about, what, 7 kids, grandkids, but not a dime of child support goes to them. I mean, honestly, that would be mom of the year right there, right? Notice the sarcasm on that shit. Child support is legally intended for the child and not for your spa days, nail, hair, eyelash extensions, whatever the hell it is that you do. Your logic is absolutely twisted. If I'm happy, they're happy. Wrong.
Wrong.
Really what she's doing, she's just prioritizing selfish indulgence over responsibility. Society demonizes dads for even questioning where their money goes. Overall, men pay billions annually in child support, and yet here's proof that the system's a joke. And you know what? You're one of the reasons why many men go their own way or overseas, to avoid being an ATM for ungrateful recipients like you.
I hate all men. I hate all men. Kill all men. XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. I hear it. I don't see it. You hate them so much, yet you pleasing them while pleasing your bologna sandwich down there. Oh, but I'm not even doing it for them. I'm doing it for the money. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Because at the end of the day, you are doing it for them. You're fulfilling their fantasies. You're fulfilling capitalism. You're fulfilling a lot of things for them. It's one thing to get your money how you get your money, but it's another thing to come up on here and be like, yeah, this is what I do for a living, but I hate all men. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you truly could not stand men, just a subscription alone by a man, knowing that he's subscribing to see you playing with your bologna sandwich, would be unfathomable to you. Knowing that you're pleasing him is gonna piss you off. You don't hate them. They're the source of your pockets. You love them.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She's not wrong. I'm just going to add to the double standard of the women that she's talking about. They hate men, but they cash their checks from their OFANs. I mean, really, they're a bunch of hypocrites. Claiming to hate men, but they're getting their lifestyle funded by them. Without men, your bologna sandwich act would be absolutely worthless. It's probably more like a roast beef sandwich at this point. You don't hate men, you hate your dependence on them. Social media amplifies this feminist doublethink where women bash men while thriving off male attention. Thing is men are waking up. They're no longer willing to bankroll this nonsense, and honestly, who can blame them?
Child support. Did you guys see what Trump just tweeted? Apparently, from now on, any fathers that are currently on child support will get to claim their kid or children for tax season. It's no longer just the mom, and I'm actually very happy about that because I don't think that's fair. Like, you have either the mom or the dad on child support. They're giving you money all year long, so how is it fair that the other parent gets to claim the kid? Or when it's 50-50 and you guys both provide for your kid, how is it fair that one parent gets to take all of that income tax? I've never thought that that's like right, and I'm happy that he's gonna do that now from now on. And in my opinion, if the children are 50-50 with the parents, I think the income tax should be split if you guys are both providing all year long for your child for whatever they need. But as far as all the dads that are going to be able to claim their kids from now on if they're paying all year, like, I think that's such a good idea and I'm here for it.
I haven't heard this, but I haven't been staying on top of a lot of it. But finally, there's some fairness in the child support laws if this is something that has already gone through or going to go through. Because men paying year round now get to claim their kids on taxes, and it's about time. For too long, the systems cater to moms while treating dads like wallets. And this change levels the playing fields for men who provide but don't get any recognition. The real kicker is, why wasn't this implemented sooner? And shared custody should mean shared benefits. It's insane we needed a policy shift just to make it fair. But guys, keep pushing for reform like this because family courts desperately need them.
Father finds out that his child is not biologically his child, but he's been paying child support. Do you think that he should have a right to be able to sue the mother for the cost of all the child support that he's already paid? Because in most states, there's really not much action you can take if you found out that your child's not actually your child and you're on child support, really, other than just taking them off child support. Because there's really not a lot of recourse for fathers that find out that their child is not biologically their child. Like, obviously they can get taken off of child support in most cases, but there's no right to recover the child support already spent. And I said for the most part they could be taken off of child support because in some states, if you sign that birth certificate, you're their dad. It doesn't matter if you're not biologically their dad because you still took on responsibility for that child. Personally, I feel like if a mom knowingly, there's the key word, knowingly misled someone to think that they were the father and then put them on child support, that's wrong. Like, if you knew that there's a chance that both Michael and Steven are the fathers, you should have told both Michael and Steven that they could have both been the fathers. And in my opinion, you should have gotten a DNA test when the baby was born. Because I think it's personally wrong to allow that child to build a relationship with one of those men, assuming that that's probably the father, not knowing for sure. And then 10 years down the line, you decide that now you want to know. And then you find out that you guessed wrong. This child spent their childhood bonding with the wrong person. And that person spent their life just supporting a child that's not theirs. Building an emotional connection to a child that's not theirs. Building a life for a child that is not theirs. Like, obviously, I knew who my daughter's father was because I was in a relationship with him. But if I didn't know, I would want to know immediately when she was born because I wouldn't want to have that question for the rest of her life. I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to do a DNA test. Because in my mind, it's going to come out eventually. And it's just wrong to let someone else take on that responsibility if you know that there's a strong chance or any chance at all that they don't need to take on that responsibility. I personally feel like if there's any chance that someone else is the father, you should do that test as soon as possible. Like, as a mother, I don't understand not wanting to do the test as soon as possible because it's not fair to both the child and both fathers. Like, the non-biological father, it's not fair that he has to support this child, build a relationship with this child, and then find out that it's not his, and then have that child taken away from him. That's emotionally devastating. And then to support a child that's not yours is financially devastating. And then that child having to build a relationship with the father, finding out that that's not actually their father, and now the person that is their father, they don't know. And it's not fair to the biological father because then they miss all this time with the child. Like, overall, it's just not fair to anyone involved. I just don't understand why people don't get a DNA test immediately. Especially nowadays when DNA tests are relatively cheap and very accessible. Like, just for the emotional and the financial damages alone, that definitely would warrant a suit. But the way that the laws are written right now, it's kind of just tough luck. There's not really a road to recovery there. But in my opinion, if you're able to take away someone's license for not paying child support, which is fair, 100% fair, you should also be able to sue someone for taking advantage of the system and putting you on child support wrongfully when they knew that it was wrong. I just personally feel like unless they waive it and they say, hey, no, we were married, we know that dad's dad, we don't need to do this. I think for the most part, it should be standard that DNA tests are required before any child support judgments are made. Because there's so many cases where they don't require it. It's kind of just, if you guys need the evidence, we need the evidence, but it's not a requirement to establish child support. And then later they find out, oh, this man's been paying child support for 15 years and that's not his kid. And 15 years later, after you find out that, man, he's not the dad, yikes, there's really no recovery there. He's just out of 15 years of child support.
I like this one.
You know, she's not wrong. Imagine paying child support for 15 years for a kid that's not yours just to hear from the mom or the courts. Oops, my bad. I mean, this scam ruins lives, and yet the system does nothing about it. And DNA tests should be mandatory before any child support ruling, and I'll continue to advocate it should be done even before signing the birth certificate. You know, if a woman knowingly lies about paternity, that's a definite fraud. Period, and it should be treated as such and handled as such. Men lose money, time, and emotional investments while biological dads miss out entirely. Maybe some biological dads just don't care because it was pumped up by a Chad. And he's like, bang, bang, peace out. I don't care. But the laws just shrugs. No big deal. Accountability needs to go both ways, and no one talks about the countless men financially enslaved by deceit. And well, guys, another day of broken laws, entitlement, anti-male biases that wreak havoc on men's lives. Solutions? Advocate for equal laws, demand DNA tests, and prioritize self-preservation. Guys, focus on yourself. Can't stress that enough. Avoid toxic relationships, vet carefully, or consider alternatives like traditional values abroad. And don't let the system exploit you. Well, guys, that's the end of the video here today. If you like what you've seen, hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Drop me a comment down below what you think, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.